I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast, episode number 132. This one's with Nathalie Schlotterhausen-Jones. And you'll hear us talk on the beginning of this where I get her to pronounce her name because of how it's spelled. It kind of threw me for a loop. Originally, we were going to talk about her painting miniatures, but her knowledge in like geek culture is so vast and wide that I thought it was better just to kind of talk about all that in general. We touch a little bit on the painting of miniatures, like the Warhammer stuff, but it was just a great talk about kind of nerd and geek culture and how she kind of got into that and all that. But it was a great talk, and I appreciate Nathalie for being on. If you'd like to give her a follow online, you can find her at Instagram, and her handle is MotherFae, MotherFae. But I appreciate her for being on. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at Feral Giant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode. How do you pronounce your name?
So it's Nathalie, the H is silent, and then Slaughterhouse, like a slaughterhouse.
Cool.
Slaughterhouse-in, and then dash hyphenated Jones.
Yeah. That last part's the worst part of all. I don't know how to say that. Jones?
Oh, yeah, I know. It's awful. And then M-O-U-S-E, mouse, M-O-U-S-E. You just got to add that part in, too, because you may as well.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse, yep. Slaughterhouse-in.
Whenever I do this, I'm probably going to accidentally add some stank to that. I'm like, Schlotterhausen.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. A lot of people love to make it more German. And I mean, it is very German, but I just know it. I grew up with it being as Slaughterhausen, like a slaughterhouse. So yeah, just I try to make it sound more like I'm part of a death metal band, Everyone else wants to make me just German.
so in that, so this is how it starts. So it'll just start like this.
Okay.
I have a friend that her name was Sanssouci, and
what?
Sanssouci, it's French.
Oh, okay.
He ended up marrying a guy whose last name was White. I was like, you just married him for his last name. Be honest.
To make it easier.
Just be honest. Shara White is a lot better than Shara Sanssouci.
Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, I mean, me personally, I'm in love with my last name. I wanted my husband to take it through and through. I had no issue. I was like, please, like every past person I was dating and gotten serious with, I'm like, listen, you're going to have to take my last name or it's bust. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go for, whatever. White or Smith or whatever.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately compromised and went with Jones. So
Jones. Good
Lord.
That's
makes it easier for an email.
Yeah. Yeah, mine is Jody keeps autocorrecting to Jodi, Jodie, or Judy. It
Gotcha.
never does it correctly. I'm like, I type this name. I end up having to type this name from filling out on forms and crap all
And
the
having
time.
to, yep,
You think
and
they would
having to
learn?
constantly autocorrect it. It's
Oh yeah,
awful.
you think they would learn, but no,
They won't.
no, no, no. But AI is so brilliant. Hey, figure out how to spell my name. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
and get back to me.
then we'll talk about that.
Exactly. I'm on the exact same boat.
All right. So, where are you originally from?
So I'm actually from Florida, and
Okay.
specifically, do you know where the hurricane just hit like a couple months or a couple weeks ago? Or a couple of days?
Uh,
Yeah, a week ago.
it,
The
no,
big one?
did it hit on the Gulf Coast this time?
Yes, on the Gulf
Okay.
Coast.
Okay.
That was Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. That's where
Okay.
I'm actually from.
Okay. So that's, if I'm thinking right, that's more up, right?
Lower, much lower. Southwest Florida. There you go. That,
Oh,
yep,
so
right there.
it's so I know Naples. I know on that side. I know Naples,
Oh,
Florida.
so yeah, actually, yeah, Naples is a part of Lee County.
Okay. Okay.
Surprised you know about Naples, but yes, that's actually not that far from Cape Coral and Fort Myers.
So I worked in newspapers for a bunch of years, and one of our
Mm.
papers was the Naples Daily News.
Ah,
So
that makes sense.
I got to go to Naples one time for one day. It was this crazy whirlwind day. Somehow I can't remember, but flying down we got like delayed, and we
Hmm.
didn't get to our hotel till 3 a.m. And then the person that was our point of contact wanted to meet at like 6 a.m. to go to this crazy breakfast place that she loved. That we went, and it was like a crappy diner. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
Are you kidding me? I got 3 hours sleep. I got 2 hours sleep because I had to shower and get there.
Hmm.
Also, you could take me to some crappy diner. I'm going.
Was
Oh,
the
you.
food okay?
It was fine. It was. I can have crappy diner food here. Like,
Well, see, this is the thing. Florida is a whole different universe, you know?
yeah,
So like when someone's like, "This is my favorite place to go to," and it's quite
yeah,
literally like a shack
yeah,
and like the food is subpar, but for whatever reason you gain like some sort of weird memory to it, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
We've got places like that here where it's where I've had to finally start telling people if you didn't grow up with this, you may not like it. Like one of my favorite places growing up was Italian food made by a Greek man. And
Okay.
it is like spicy sauce, and I
Interesting.
it's super meaty, super greasy, and I love it. But like my friend who's from New Jersey, and I love saying New Jersey because he claims New York, but I'm like, you lived in New York for 8 years. You grew up in Jersey. You're from Jersey. He's like, that's not real, authentic New York Italian. I was like, just shut
Uh,
up. Just shut
See,
up,
yeah.
man. Like,
Well, listen, this is the best I can get here, and it's I like it, you
oh,
know?
I love it. So I just visited 100% Italian friend in Cleveland, Ohio, and
Hmm.
she made me sauce. I'm like,
Different.
it just tastes different to where I want her to try it, but I'm going to tell her it's like you can't shit on my sauce,
You
man.
just can't.
You
It's kind
can't.
of like it's like taking a friend to your mom's house and then
Yeah.
your friend is like, shit talking your mom's
Yeah.
food.
No.
It's like you
No.
don't do that.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, you
So,
just can't do that.
so anyway, Naples. I was surprised that I stayed awake like all day because we ended up just having this crazy whirlwind day where we spent all this time there at the newspaper. Then they took us around. They did take us to some crazy shack on the water for lunch, which was pretty good. But
Yeah.
the dinner I had was in the swanky, bougie part of town, and it
Hmm.
was the best piece of fish I've ever had in my life. But it had been soaked in butter for like 48 hours.
Oh
So,
boy.
so of course it's going to be good.
Oh yeah.
It was a very nice restaurant where I was like, I do not feel comfortable here. What are these white linen tablecloths?
Yeah, no,
What is
see,
happening?
Naples is the ritzy place,
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, the I was about to say with you being awake for
yeah.
an ungodly amount of time, it's just the air in Florida. It's just the drugs in the air. Don't worry about it.
I it was nuts because it was like I'm trying to remember if we even stayed there that night or if we went on. It may have also been some crazy crap to where like we stayed the night, but then had to get up at like 4 in the morning to drive back to the airport to get back to work. I was like, y'all are killing me, man. I just want
Yep.
I just want to
Yep.
sleep. I just want to sleep. But yeah,
Nope, not allowed.
Naples, it was fine. It was fine.
It's
It seemed,
okay.
it
You can
seemed
talk
very,
worse about it.
it's,
I
oh,
understand.
well, it seemed like the wealth inequality there was insane.
It
But,
is.
okay, so when we drove around, it was like, oh, here's these. We actually went to an open house. My
Huh.
coworker and I, guy and girl, we went in like we were. She had a wedding ring on. I was like, we're going to act like we're a married couple. We're going in here checking this out.
Oh yeah.
The
That's the
dude
best.
clocked us in 10 seconds. Like, y'all are
Uh-huh.
not a married couple.
Yeah.
But he still gave us a tour, and it was like a $12 million home, and it wasn't even
Hmm.
on the ocean. It was like 2 blocks back,
Oh yeah.
and then we would drive through these back alleyways and stuff. It's like, oh my god, like this is,
It's night and day.
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, the pay inequality between snowbirds is what we call them,
Yeah,
northerners who are retiring versus the actual locals. It's
yeah.
awful. We know the difference. We see it daily.
And in working for that paper, I learned that they hated the term snowbirds. They were like, you
The
could never.
snowbirds hate the snowbird term.
Yes,
That's hilarious. That's too
yes,
bad.
yeah.
We will call
So
them a
they were
snowbird no
they
regardless.
were like, you can't say that down here. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They're rich people. I don't care what they think.
Yeah,
But anyway,
let us just do that, you know. That's
and I think
that
Gulf
yeah.
at Gulf Coast, I've been to Tampa once,
Hmm.
to St. Pete. St. Pete seemed really nice.
Yeah, St. Pete is really, really nice. It's definitely kind of like a little vacation spot that that people tend to do.
Yeah. So Fort Myers, what was that like growing up there?
Uh we actually had our own nicknames for our cities. So
Okay.
Fort Myers, we used to call Fort Misery.
Okay.
And then Cape Coral, which is my main hometown, we called it Cape Coma.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that just gives you a little glimpse into how
So you love it.
growing
You
up.
love living there. It's glorious.
Oh, it was yeah, you know, sure. You know, I can't even lie. It was awful. A lot of us dream about leaving Florida, and I was one of the lucky ones that managed to get out.
Oh my God. I will say, so I've been to Fort Lauderdale
Hmm.
when in like the winter months, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's not hot.
and St. Augustine, I love St. Augustine. I've got
Oh, yeah,
friends
another nice place.
who live there to where it's like, oh, it feels good here all the time. Like
Hmm.
it's, I wear shorts in the wintertime, so I actually love that it cooled down at night there. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, just enough where it's
Yeah.
bearable. Still humid though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I live in East Tennessee. East Tennessee, like East Tennessee, West Tennessee, and Arkansas are like humid on a level that is ungodly.
Are you sure about that? I don't
Yes.
know. I've
And
lived in Florida my
DC
whole
too.
life.
Well, I take that back. I've been to Orlando in the
Yeah.
middle, and holy crap. It was
Yep.
just like, what? Y'all are frying here. What is going on? I think I was there in like August. I was like, why did I do this to myself?
Yep.
This was dumb. To where that's why probably St. Augustine, because I was staying in St. Augustine, went down to Orlando for the day. That's
Hmm.
probably why it didn't feel that bad to me in St. Augustine.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because it wouldn't be so bad, the humidity. But believe me,
yeah.
it's awful all around the entire state. But I mean, with the weather, it's actually, yeah, funnily enough, my husband was just telling me the forecast,
Uh-huh.
and we knew that it's actually falling iguana weather time is what we call it, because it's fall
Oh
and we don't
God.
get leaves, we get falling iguanas.
Oh my God.
So I know I think it I what is it, tomorrow or the next couple of days here in the week back home, it's gonna, if you're not
That's
careful, there will
hilarious.
be an iguana that will fall on you because they're cold. It
That's
gets that cold
hilarious.
enough for them at least.
That's amazing.
So,
So where are you at right now? We'll get to that eventually
oh
later,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
just in comparison.
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, so I'm still in the South.
Well, it was nice talking to you. As
Yeah.
someone from East Tennessee, good sweet Jesus, that game. I was at a birthday party and watching it in the background, just going like, what is happening? What is going on? Why is this a basketball score? Like, what is happening?
I
What
wish I
is-
could converse with you further,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know sports.
Sports ball.
Sorry.
Yay, sports ball.
Sports ball. You get the ball in the hoop or the basket.
So,
Yeah.
uh, God, I don't mean for this podcast just to be, hey, I've been there. Charleston is really cool. I liked Columbia. Columbia was really nice. A friend of mine works for the university as a designer, and that little downtown area, and there's some cool print shops
I've
there.
only been to Columbia once to take a state test, and that
Oh
was
yeah.
it. I am still so new to South Carolina that I couldn't really tell you too much,
Oh,
unfortunately. I do have a sister in Somerville, which is right by
okay.
Charleston.
I did just go to Greenville for the weekend.
That's where I'm closer to. Yeah.
A friend of mine's a beer rep there, and it seems like a good food town, but
Oh, it's so nice.
I couldn't get a handle on much of anything else. It seemed very sprawly, like
It is a
very
little
sprawly.
sprawly. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. If I really think about it, it is pretty sprawly, but it has a good collection of food, and that's what
Yeah.
makes me pretty happy. Like I can get, one moment I can get some sushi, the next I can get some Colombian food, which I haven't had in
Mm.
a while, and the next I can have some, classic Southern,
Yeah.
it's pretty good about the variety at least.
And there's God, you can't see them, but I have here. I'll show you this. There are
Sure.
records
Oh,
everywhere.
nice.
Yeah. And so I spent quite a bit of money at record stores there. There were some good record stores there.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I think I know of at least one of them. It was oh gosh, I don't. It's by this game store I used to go to. That they actually just changed locations, but
it's kind of around the corner
yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Borderlands, right next to
yep,
Borderlands.
yep.
Yeah,
So
that's the one.
when I went to the record store, but because I'm a comic book nerd too, so I tried to go in there, but it was like it was like we are opening on this date, and I was like, oh crap, that's like a week from now. Like I'm here now, man. Come on.
Oh man, yeah, no, they just changed location. I don't know how long ago you went to Greenville, but
3 weeks
I
ago, it was not that long ago.
3 weeks. Okay, so yeah, I think they were in the middle of a move. They
Okay,
just opened brand new store in a different
nice,
location. And it's
nice.
so nice. If your comics, if you want to go and find them again, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, my only problem now is I was I grew up in comics. My dad was in the service, so he brought all of his like
Hmm
1960s Spider-Man and like all those old good books, all the old Stan Lee stuff. And then I got into them when I was in middle school during the boom, got out of it, and then got back into it in the mid to late 90s.
Mm.
Went reading Preacher. Preacher was what got me back into it.
Okay.
And really got into it for a long time, but I got out. And now I'm kind of a little bit back in.
In the limbo stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I hate to say it, but it's
A little oversaturated.
no, it's the what's it called? TFAW.com. Shoot.
I
There's a
don't know.
website where you can order comics, and I was like, oh, I
Huh.
love this. Oh, things from another world. I was like, you mean I
Ah.
can just go on here and set up like this is amazing. Like we have a couple stores here, but they're so far away from my house. I'm like, I don't want to drive
And
25
make that
minutes.
journey.
Yeah, and get there and not have stuff. I like, yeah, but
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
25 minutes.
now I'm just buying stuff based on the covers. Though I was like, oh, this cover looks cool. I'll
Oh,
buy
so you're
this.
judging a book by its cover, huh?
Literally, yes.
Yes.
I'm a graphic designer and artist. Of course, I'm drawing.
Well, of course, of course.
And there's some book that I keep looking at that's got some weird long title that now, like the second printings of that book, come with a record.
hmm
They come with a 45. I was like, ah, crap. All right, I'm gonna have to get those, I guess.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Fine. You've convinced me. Take
yeah,
my money.
yeah, yeah. It's $20. Yeah, I guess I can give you $20
Yeah,
for a
all right.
record yeah, but it's really yeah. Okay, so originally from Florida, now you're living in South Carolina, that demon land of bad football players.
Okay.
So what did your folks do growing up?
So I'm actually a first generation immigrant.
Okay.
So my dad is was, sorry, he's retired. He was an engineer,
Okay.
general engineer for a hotel for the longest time,
Okay.
and he did various of other things way before I was born. Um, because my parents had me fairly late. My mom had
Okay.
me at I think 40, 41, something like that.
Okay.
Really late.
Yeah.
And my mom just kind of did, um, was a maid, deli worker. She tells me when she was younger, she did like phone operators when those existed.
Oh yeah.
That's what she did. Um, but yeah, and she was a secretary too at some point. But yeah, the last job that she had was at Walmart. So it's nothing too glorious or glamorous. Just, just trying to get by and survive kind of stuff.
Okay, so you're first generation. So where are your parents from?
My parents are both from Costa Rica.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually a country most people tend to forget exists, as I've always come to notice.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, we get mistaken for Puerto Rico,
Okay.
which, don't get me wrong, is nice, but we're not an island.
Yeah.
We're in Central America and we're a tiny little country, but random fun fact, we're actually one of two or three countries in the world that does not have an army.
Really?
Yeah, Costa Rica is
Okay.
absolutely does not have an army at all or any sort of military force, I should say.
I'm pretty good at bow and arrow. I'll go down there and take it over. I'm a big fella. I can do.
Oh,
No, I'm just
believe
kidding.
me,
I'm just
they're
kidding.
they're still
I'm just
really
kidding.
strong.
Oh,
They
I'm
have a
just kidding.
they have a great police force still.
Yeah, yeah. I show up. How y'all doing? Nope. You gotta go. You gotta
Yeah.
go.
Sorry, No,
Uh-uh.
actually they would love you. They love
Oh,
tourists. We are a big tourist country, unfortunately.
yeah.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah. There's a service called Scott's Cheap Flights,
Hmm.
where all they do is ping for very cheap flights, and I see Costa Rica on there a lot,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I used to be able to go there once a year when I was younger to just travel and see family and all that good
Okay.
stuff. Not so
Okay.
much now as an adult, but
Yeah. So what brought them to the States? What brought them up here?
So for my dad, it was the classic American dream, you
Yeah.
know. His when he came here when he was 18, 19,
Oh.
somewhere around that. And he came here with his dad and his brothers, my uncles, and they all tried to start working and do all that good stuff.
Okay.
And then for my mom, later on in life, mom actually, my dad put in a newspaper ad looking for his wife, and my mom only wanted a American stamp. And so she sent him a letter
Oh my
just so she
God.
can get a stamp. And she actually fell in love with him through the letter. So
That's amazing.
it's hilarious, but
And
yeah.
they're both from Costa Rica.
Yes,
Okay.
completely. Mhm.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then they fell in love, and then my mom ended up in Florida, where my dad, or well, Connecticut, and then Florida, pretty much for a
Okay.
very short time. And then,
Wow. Go from Connecticut, very white, very lily
yes,
white,
yep,
to Florida.
yep.
Wow. Okay. So
And then,
where did the German name come from?
so it's from obviously my dad's side. It's actually 4 or 5 generations back, so it's still not that like.
Okay.
I mean, like we have 4 or 5 generations Costa Rican, and then before that is all German. So it's not
Okay.
like, it's not like it's brand spanking new. It's still kind of there. Apparently, I
I'm
still
I'm
have some German features. I don't
I'm
know.
I'm trying not to laugh too hard because it's like, oh, like 2 generations ago, all those Germans that came to Brazil. Interesting.
Oh yeah, no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
that magically showed up in 1945.
Yeah, it's
That was
so such a
weird.
weird.
What's
No,
funny is
thank.
I think this is the second time that's come up on the podcast. Like I
No,
think my buddy that I just had on, Michael Giles, his family. God, where did he tell me that they are from South America? And I made the same dumb joke about
yep.
just like, huh, the boys from
See, now
Brazil. Hmm.
that's probably, that unfortunately may have been the case.
Oh God. Oh
But
wow.
no, but thankfully, my dad has really been interested in our family
Yeah.
genealogy. So he actually built our entire family tree
Wow.
and did a bunch of research with the help of himself. And we actually have a cousin who is a dean of a university, and she's been
Oh
helping him as
crap.
well. And she got in contact with a bunch of people in Germany, and we thankfully have found out that there's no Nazis of any sort in our
They
family.
escaped after World War I instead of World
Hmm.
War II. World War I.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
They're like, we see this. There's this Hitler guy coming. We got to get out of here, man. This
Yeah,
this guy's nothing but trouble, man. We got to roll. Of course,
yeah,
your dad did that. He's a former engineer. Of course, he's
yeah.
going to do that. He's
He likes
bored.
to break things down and figure things out. So that's,
Yeah.
I never had to do ancestry DNA. My dad's just like, here's the book,
He's like, I got you, and he unfurls like this giant tree. Like, here you
tapestry
go.
up
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. Here you go. Here you go. I got it all laid out.
Yeah. And it turns out I have like a whole family crest and everything. Like he's like,
That's
don't
awesome.
don't waste your money on the 23andMe or the ancestry.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, okay, gotcha.
Just buy me some Wiener Schnitzel, and it's all good. It's all
Yep.
good. So
Yep.
so growing up, did you have like was there like a marriage of the cultures when it came to food or anything?
No, not at
No.
all. It
No.
was all pretty Spanish,
Okay.
pretty Costa
Okay.
Rican cuisines.
What is Costa Rican cuisine? Now I gotta ask that. Good Lord. This is
So,
rambling, man. We just go
yeah,
everywhere.
you're fine. I was actually listening to a couple of your
Oh,
podcasts, and
awesome.
yeah, yeah, of course, I gotta support, especially if
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on it, you know?
Yeah. You would
Gotta know
be
what I'm
you
doing.
would be surprised how many people like
I understand that. Um, cuisine. So it would be like a lot of rice and beans,
Okay.
tortillas, that general stuff. We do a lot of plantains, actually, a lot of bananas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, plantains
Hmm.
are awesome. Yeah.
But generally it's about the same as like say if you're familiar with Guatemalan or Honduran food
Hmm.
or Nicaraguan food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all pretty much the same. A lot
Okay.
of people like to believe like, oh, it's like Mexican food, it's spicy. No,
No.
we don't do spicy. The best I'll do is like I don't know, like a spicy ceviche, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
We I'm trying to think if we have I know we have Cuban and Jamaican around here.
Hmm.
Cuban is
Oh,
where I've
those are
had the
good.
plantains.
Oh,
That
Cubans are
place
so good.
it's like authentic Cuban food. Like the
I
people
believe
there
it.
are from Cuba, and it is this little hole in the wall place, so you know it's awesome if it's a hole
Oh
in the
yeah.
wall place. And it is just like that's not the first time I had plantains, but maybe the first place I ever had fried plantains. I was like,
Like
oh
tostones or
yeah. I was like,
yeah.
oh my God. I think I went back and got a second order for the ride.
Yeah, they're like chips. They're like
Yeah,
chips, but it's more
so
with
good.
sustenance.
Oh God, they're so good.
Oh, they're
So good.
delicious.
God, now I'm going to be hungry.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna make this
No,
whole podcast
no,
about food and we're
you're
just gonna sit
fine.
and talk about
It's
it. That's
like,
fine with
oh
me.
God, you're just going to find me in like 3 hours. We'll still be on the podcast. I'll be sitting here, bowl of something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I might actually. That's why I brought a water to make sure I kind of curb my appetite because I know this would happen.
Uh, uh, okay, so
Hmm.
as a kid, were you
Uh-huh.
always into art?
Yes, actually.
Okay,
I've always been into drawing and painting, and my parents were really good about supporting me on that.
okay,
They always threw pretty much if I wanted something that involved art, they would just throw it at my face and be like, "There you go, take it, take
okay,
it."
okay. Do you have
Um,
brothers and sisters
I'm
or?
the youngest of eight total,
Holy crap. Okay.
but not
Wow.
like that. My dad had
Yeah.
three ex-wives.
Oh, okay. So my great grandfather, I think, was married 5 or 6 times and had 20 something kids.
Jeez.
And so
All right.
the only way I can remember this is at one point, the oldest, when he turned 100, the youngest was 56, I think,
Oh, wow.
54. So there
Hmm.
was that many years difference in but
That's
yeah, he was married
crazy.
5 or 6 times. And it's wild because it's like my grandfather's, his group from his mom is
Hmm.
like 4 kids, but then the family after them. Do you know about the Melungeons?
I that sounds familiar.
It's kind of a, I don't know if it's a derogatory term or not. It's like hill people from like this area, from East
Uh-huh.
Tennessee, but
Okay, so yeah.
it's a mix of like black people, Native American people, probably people from South America, just of everything, and
A melting pot.
melting pot to where like that next wife was a Melungeon.
Uh-huh.
Italian people too. I remember that. And it was like all of those kids had olive skin and like big broad noses. And it's like, wow, there really is a difference, like in just the mom's genetics from the two. Because like
Yeah.
my grandfather and all of his family, they were all like super tall, very almost like Nordic,
Oh, nice.
kind of
Uh-huh.
look at, but go from that to Melungeon, it was like, wow, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, like how genetics is a very
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
thing. I've sat and like looked into like, Punnett squares and going even
Yeah.
deeper than that, obviously. Like genetics in general is crazy. Like one small tiny change and it can change
Yeah.
everything, in the
Yeah. Like,
DNA.
like bald skipping a generation. My
Yeah,
dad is not
something like
bald. I
that.
was like, you mother. Uh, okay. So you were into art as a kid. You
Oh
had
yeah.
seven older, siblings. Were any of them into art or were you?
So funnily enough, I share a lot more qualities with my oldest sister, Nancy, who is the
Okay.
oldest of all of us. She is in her 50s right now.
Okay.
I'm 26.
Okay. You're a
To give
child.
you
You're a child. I'm way older than that. You're a child. You're a child.
but my sister would probably call you a child, so careful now.
I am. If she's in her 50s, I'm much closer to her than you. I'm 44,
Okay.
so I'm much closer to her.
Well, still, she's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
older than you. So
yeah.
I'm gonna ride on that high horse of mine.
Thank you for trying. Thank you for the attempts. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just
I'm
doing my
young at
due
heart. I'm young
diligence.
at heart. Damn it. Yeah,
Exactly. There you go. You're as young as you want to feel.
I feel 87 most days.
Well,
Play a lot of
yeah.
sports. I a lot of pops and cracks when I get
Yeah,
up.
to be fair, me too. My body is a
Oh
lot
my
more
god.
crinkly as it shouldn't be as a 26-year-old. Um,
Okay, so you shared more with your oldest
Oldest
sister.
Nancy, yeah. So
Okay.
she's actually really into photography
Oh.
and she is a lot more free-spirited in the family. So her and I
Okay.
are kind of considered the black sheep in a way. Um,
Okay.
everyone else is a little more sensible than us. So there would be after that would be my sister Carla and Gwendolyn I don't know too well. I haven't
Okay.
really met them as far as I can remember. But my sister Jessica would be the second into art in the family line.
Okay.
She decorates cakes and she's really
Oh,
good at it. Oh my gosh.
that's a
She
whole
does
thing.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it is a whole thing and it's crazy. Like she does like really intense stuff and I'm like, yo. But like the problem is, I mean, I love her and I love her cakes. I cannot eat any of it because it has fondant and fondant makes me
Uh,
violently sick.
fondant. I will still eat the crap out of some fondant, but I just went to a birthday party to where, oh God, this is a rough thing to say, but the woman whom it was her birthday, her
Hmm.
husband. Still don't know how I feel about this, and I'm sorry if you're listening. You know who you are. But he takes people to Africa to do like big game hunting, which I don't feel. Yeah, I
Ah,
don't feel great about that.
that's
Or
awful.
she's been like, "You ought to have him on." I'm like, "Yeah, eventually, maybe." But the cake was really cool in this
Okay.
artistic way, in that it looked like a like a what would you call that? Like a hide, like
Hmm.
carpet rug thing.
Yeah,
The way it looked, I was like, "Holy crap! That actually looks
real.
like that." And she said she was a little drunk. She was like, "It looks ugly, but it tastes great." And I was like, "It looks cool. Stop saying that. It looks
Yeah.
cool." Like,
I've noticed a lot of artists are a lot more insecure about their art than they
yeah,
need to be. I'm also one of those people, so I'm just like talking, but I will not listen to myself. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
I hear you there.
Yeah,
Okay, so
we're pretty insecure.
she makes cakes.
She makes cakes. Yeah, she
Okay.
does a lot of art. She actually, I think she told me once that she went to college to try to get into graphic design, but she never went through with it and she switched to something else.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know about that. Then from there, my brother Billy, unsure what he does, if he's into art. There's my sister Diana. She is not into art. She does like the cricket stuff, but
Cricket.
like
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, like the machine thing.
Yeah.
But she's more like she's a very stereotypical Southern mom, you know what I mean? Like they put their initials everywhere and
Live, laugh,
their
love.
yeah, live, laugh, love, their initials everywhere. What are they called? Monograms or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put those
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
She does that to everyone and everything. So that's her shtick.
You know what? To each their own. To
Yeah,
each their own.
exactly. To each their own.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I just
Yeah.
it's definitely her thing.
Yeah.
Um and then after that my sister Gowdy wasn't really into things. And then there's me
I was
who
going to say, did you
I
just say, maybe I'm a little tired, but it was all girls, all
and one brother.
one brother. Oh,
He's the
that was the
middle
one you don't
child.
know much about. That's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I know my brother Billy,
Oh,
but
or you don't know
he if he's into art.
if he's into art. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really had much of a conversation with him about it, to be
I think
honest. So
I was like, did I count that right? It's all girls. Holy crap. Like
yeah, he was good at
one
juggling.
boy. One boy.
One
Okay.
boy
Good
in
one.
the middle,
In the
right in the
middle,
middle.
right in the center. Okay. So what got you into art? Were you into like comics or cartoons? Like what got you
Oh,
into art?
a lot of anime and video games is really what
Okay. Yeah,
got me into.
26. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's because comic books, it's like it's so specialized now.
it kind of skipped a generation, I've
Yeah.
noticed, because
Yeah.
now Gen Zers are really into comics,
Yeah.
but myself, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. I
Yeah.
actually knew about comics, but I never really got my hands on one until like late teens.
Okay.
Is when I was
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, that's a comic,
Yeah. But
you know?
anime and video games. Okay.
Anime, video games, and my dad, he was really into like Lord of the Rings and Star Trek, so he
Okay.
used to just expose me to a lot of nerdiness, and I just kind of ended up in the pitfall of everything nerdy.
Yeah.
So I ended
Uh,
up there.
what were some anime that stood out to you?
Oh gosh,
Like the Studio Ghibli stuff or the stuff that was on
s-
like Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network mainly because that's what we had.
Okay.
Um, so that would have been, well, I mean, I remember early memories of Sailor Moon,
Yeah.
but
Oh
outside of
God,
that,
yeah.
there would be like Inuyasha, there would be Death Note, there would be this one show in particular called Bobo Bo 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 Bo.
I was like, I've heard of Death Note, I've heard of Sailor Moon, but that one I have not
Bobo.
heard of.
It was a comedy one. It's hilarious. It's
Okay.
so outlandish. But yeah, so anime in general just kind of really pushed me into
Okay.
more of like, wow, like this is animation. This is art
Yeah.
in so many aspects. You know, it tells a story in a very fun way. And of course cartoons in general, but I never like equated like well I did equate it to art, but I didn't like view it as the way that I wanted to go in the direction I wanted to go in, you know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Did
I wanted to go towards anime.
so when it came to video game systems, so did you get hand-me-down systems or did you get your own system?
So surprisingly my parents actually when they had the chance they would actually get me my own system. So at a
Okay.
young age I had the family PC.
Oh yeah.
I had the family PC and from there, I had my own computer that my dad built for me,
Okay.
and that's where I played my games. That's where I would, watch my stuff, illegally
That's
watch anime, and at
that's
that
such a
time,
yeah. There's another generational thing because like my parents had an Atari 2600, which I still have,
Mm-hmm.
with like
That's nice.
bukus of games, like tons of games. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got an NES for myself and a Super Nintendo. And that
Nice.
after that's when I checked out. Once it got too many buttons and 3D stuff, I was out. And I never really paid on
Ah.
a PC. Like my uncle was really into Dune in like
Mm-hmm.
the, I guess, mid 90s. And
Yeah.
anytime he would come down, I would play a little bit on it. But I was going to arcades like growing up.
I mean, I'm actually really good at arcade games when it comes to like motorcycle racing stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm really good at
Oh,
those.
God. I got a game for you to look up because it will
Oh,
trip you out.
all
It's
right.
called Paperboy.
Paperboy?
So this was a game growing up. I'm not kidding. It was handlebars on an arcade, and you
Mm-hmm.
delivered papers, and you avoided dogs and stuff. And you
Oh, I've
actually
heard of
did
it.
on handlebars. And my mom, in her 30s and almost to her 40s, would go to the arcade, smoke Virginia Slims, drink Mellow Yellow, and play Paperboy. Like,
Nice.
it's got to be the. I wish I could film that. Go back in time and film that because that's got to be the funniest damn thing in the world. See this woman, Southern woman out there smoking her Virginia Slims, going, "Damn dogs," you know. But yeah, Paperboy. That was like a legit. I was like, that's one I thought about in the last year or so. I was like, I would love to actually have the cabinet with the handlebars
Oh yeah.
because it's so crazy. And Afterburner was the thing you got in, and it you could actually fly. And Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter was the big one for me.
Now, I definitely missed out on the
Yeah,
real arcade era because nowadays if I were to go to an arcade, there's just like, the classic shooters, some pinball,
yeah.
skee ball, and then the racing games.
But it's
But
wild. Like
nothing like intense.
the barcades have become such a huge thing. We actually in
Yes.
downtown Knoxville have a barcade. It's more like pinball machines than
Mm-hmm.
anything else. But like they actually their entire bar top is old pinball tops that they have wired in and they like
Ah,
it's the coolest thing in the world. It's called Harrogate's Lounge.
Harrogate's Lounge. I'd have to
Yeah.
look into that because I've been wanting to go to
Yeah.
Tennessee anyway. Um,
Knoxville is awesome. Yeah, you've got my
mhm.
email address now, so anytime you want to come, I will tell you the cool place to go.
That'd be great. I'd
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. And hey, if you come in the fall, you can go to all those football games that you love.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can get to see them kick kick the ball.
Kick the
And
kick the foosball. Yeah.
yeah, and it'll go. Hold on, wait. So let me see what I can recollect in football. So they grab a ball, and you can tackle them down. You got to get to one side, and there is a part where you can kick the ball,
This
and
is
it'll go
hilarious.
into.
You're
and
nailing it. I'm
thank
going to
you.
change the title of this to Explains Football.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a guy, he's a quarterback, and he grabs the ball, and he's the one who tosses it.
I'm
So
gonna bail you out of this. So I
thank you.
will say, uh, if you come here, it's super touristy, but Dollywood is amazing.
I've always wanted to go.
But there's a strip outside of Dollywood, Pigeon
Uh-huh.
Forge, and there's all kinds of place where it's nothing but arcades.
I'd
There's
have
one
to
called
go
the
then.
Track that's really cool
Hmm.
that you can win. You know the tickets. It's yeah, you can get in a lot of gaming there, but it's just so freaking expensive now. Like I grew up in there where it was a quarter and you played for
Yeah.
a long time.
Now it's like,
A
yeah,
dollar
some
fifty
of
if
them
you're
can even
lucky.
reach up to $5. I remember over
Yeah,
at Dave and Buster's if I ever find one.
yeah. So anyway,
It's
yeah, if you
awesome.
ever make it here downtown, but then Pigeon Pigeon Forge, I was dating somebody who's really into skee ball.
Oh, skee ball's good though. I love
But
skee ball.
so one when her birthday came around, I didn't tell her what we were doing, and I just took her to Pigeon Forge where we could sit and play skee ball all night.
Nice. Oh, that's actually really sweet of you.
Yeah. Yeah, she was only sweet back to me, but we won't get into that. That's a whole
Oh,
nother podcast. That's a whole nother. Okay. So, anime, video games.
just general
Do,
nerddom.
so did you ever like get into like I don't want to say actual art because I don't want to sound like I'm demeaning, but
Oh yeah.
but you said you painted, you did all this stuff.
I
Did you?
painted, I did
Yeah,
digital art, I did sketching, I did pastels, I did charcoal,
love it.
watercolor, acrylic, oil, like I tried it all pretty much when I was younger, but in the end I kind of stuck with more of pen and paper and
Okay,
digital. And then
okay,
now, as of lately, I actually really found my calling in like miniature painting.
okay.
So that's acrylic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I'm
uh,
just
yeah.
touching in on it, giving the clue of it.
Okay. Spoiler alert! You didn't say spoiler alert, damn.
Oh
No, I'm
crap,
just
I
kidding.
did
It
it.
will be in the title. So, did
Yeah.
you? So, did you have good art classes in like middle school or high school, or did you go to college for art?
I went to hair school. That's as
Okay.
most as I went to in college, is
Okay.
vocational college. But when it came to like middle school, high school, elementary school, even if the classes weren't bad, or if even if the classes were bad, which they weren't, but
Yeah.
I usually was like a teacher's pet in art class.
Okay.
I wanted to know how to do art.
Yeah.
I was very into it, and my art teacher saw it. Thankfully, they all noticed it and they helped me out. Oh, and pottery too. That was another one. Clay work I tried.
God. Yeah. If you here, I'll give you another one to look up. There's a place here called Mighty Mud, where it is
Mighty mud?
Mighty Mud. It's
Uh-huh.
two ginormous buildings where all these artists have their own little studios, but they
Oh,
teach
there it is.
pottery and ceramics there. And it's crazy huge.
Oh,
Like
that's
it's
really cool. I
yeah.
always want to do the little spinny
Oh
disc
yeah.
to do pottery. That's
Yeah.
fancy stuff.
It's
Um,
it's really neat. Like they got kilns there and everything. And there's a place in Gatlinburg, which is just
mhm.
past Pigeon Forge, called Arrowmont School for the Arts, and they do metalworking, woodworking,
Oh, really cool
pottery.
stuff.
I went there and did this program called Pentaculum, where it was a week long immersive printmaking and 2D art program,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it was pretty cool. The people I got to meet was it was
Yeah.
pretty insane. So,
Arts is a really interesting hobby because you meet so many
oh
weird
yeah,
and cool and all walks of life people.
yeah.
So I'm not
Okay,
surprised.
not. I'm trying to figure out a better way to put this.
Yeah.
But did you ever go to like museums or do anything like that?
I always wanted to go to museums. I've been to quite a few, but
Okay,
not anything like, you know,
MoMA.
big. No
Okay,
national
yeah.
wide big things,
You're not
unfortunately.
missing much.
I
MoMA cracked me up. I'll tell this story for like the 50th time on this podcast.
I'm
I
ready for it.
made an older black security woman, uh, bend over laughing
Oh
because
boy.
I turned a corner, saw a piece of art, and apparently made a look that she literally out of the corner of my eye, I saw her bend over and grab her knees. And she came over and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Honey, that is the best reaction I've seen ever." And I pointed at her, I was like, "Ma'am, I've been studying art for like 20 years. I don't know what the hell that is." I
What
mean,
is it? You gotta
it
tell
was,
me what was it?
it was a blank canvas
Uh-huh.
that they had painted a like half inch across the top, on the
Oh,
sides in four different colors, and that was it. Everything else was a
I know
blank
what you're
canvas.
talking about. I
Yeah,
actually watched a whole video essay discussing this kind of
it
art
made
pieces.
it made me so angry. It made me so angry.
Yeah, but at the same, because they sell for like a
Oh
lot of money.
God, millions of
But at
dollars.
the same time, there's like a weird like you can't you can replicate it, but not to the same quality.
So there's the artist that was one of the first artists that really made clicked for me was this guy Piet Modrian.
Uh-huh.
Where if you look up his work, it's just lines and boxes. But I have read other artists talk about trying to recreate it and said you
And you
can't do it.
can't.
So that's the best thing is one of my favorite artists, Norman Rockwell. And I got to go to an exhibit I went to an exhibit in D.C. Here you go, you're a geek person, you're going to like this.
Uh-huh.
The two largest personal collections of Norman Rockwell in the world are Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
Really?
And they lent their collections to the Smithsonian in D.C., and I drove up to see his work,
Nice.
Rockwell's work. And there was a piece that was a cover of Saturday Evening Post that it made it look like a Jackson Pollock piece, like a guy looking at a Jackson Pollock piece. And I read the biography on that piece, and it's like, that's not a Jackson Pollock. That is Norman Rockwell imitating Jackson Pollock. And Norman Rockwell's quote was, "That's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life." That man is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he respect game there. Like, as much as Rockwell was a technician, what Pollock did was ridiculous.
Oh,
But
it's a whole other appreciation, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah.
You look at those pieces of art and you're just like, I can do that at home,
Yeah.
For
Well,
way cheaper.
yeah, I'm friends with tons of artists here that are all conceptual people with masters. And if you ever want to listen to me and a guy just kind of yell at one another, his name is Josh Shorey. Or Joshua Shorey.
Did you do a podcast with him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
All
like
right.
10 12 episodes back where I'm trying to get his story, and we end up just arguing about art for like 30 minutes.
Understood.
Where I'm just like, where I'm
literally
screaming at one point of like, screw that guy, and he can suck it. Like, he's like, why are you so angry? I was like, because that guy sucks, and I hate him, and I hate his work. And if he was here, I'd kick him in the nads. Richard Prince, screw that guy. So, anyway.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, our podcast was art in itself of me yelling.
I found the podcast.
Okay.
I'll be listening to that later. I'm gonna wait for him. I'm gonna wait for you to yell. That's gonna be great.
God. It's stupid. It's so dumb. Okay, so you went kind of, but hairdresser. So what got you into painting miniatures? Like, were you into like RPGs? Am I saying that right? Or like
RPGs. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank God.
funnily enough, when my husband he was in the army. All right.
Okay.
So just to give a little bit of context here, he was in the army and he was stationed in Savannah, Georgia, and so we lived there for about 2 years. And in those 2 years, I actually worked at a local game store because I happened to walk in because I did more, the video game stuff. So I was pretty unaware of tabletop. And when I walked in, one of the workers there was like, you look like you're going to be really cool. And I'm like, thank you.
Oh, nice.
And we became fast friends. And then from there, they actually went ahead and influenced me to go ahead and apply for the job. And I got it pretty easily. And I started working there, and I was there for 2 years because I loved it so much. And I learned so much in just a short time frame.
Okay.
And I was surrounded by comics, tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade, Pathfinder, board games. I was surrounded by those.
Okay.
Warhammer, all the paints. Yeah, Warhammer. All the paints that go into it. Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, anything tabletop, like pretty much everything that is gaming that was not digital, that was that store.
Okay. I will say, just a little side note, do you know who is a huge miniature painter for Warhammer? A famous actor.
Is it Henry Cavill?
Yes.
I love that man so much.
So I love the Graham Norton show. And there's one of the times he is interviewed, he was talking about painting, and Graham Norton could not laugh, just side-eye him. He was like,
I saw the interview.
Yeah, he was like, here you are, this giant, like, sexiest man in the world. And he was like, yeah, I like to paint my little or he built his own gaming system.
I know.
Like,
it's so sexy to hear him talk about it. I watched the interview.
I love it.
And I'm like, I love this man even more.
That makes me. So here we go. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. I
Yay.
seem to be the only person who liked Man of Steel. I love that movie. I think it's actually a great movie.
It
I
was all
think
right.
I think it's hard to do Superman.
It is.
Superman is perfect. So here you go. You know comics. My favorite comic series of all time that I've always said, if they would just film it page for page, it could be one of the greatest superhero films of all time. And it's Superman for All Seasons. It is one of the greatest series ever. It's Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb, but it is the colorist is this guy like Bjorn Hansen, and it's
Bjorn
all
Hansen.
watercolor. It's all
Oh,
watercolor,
wow.
and it is like Superman through 4 seasons of his life, and it is hopeful and is happy, but it also deals with him having to
The trauma of
dealing
being. Yeah.
dealing with consequences like Lex
Yeah.
Luthor. See, my big thing about Man of Steel is like you have to look at Man of Steel like it's two things: a post 9/11 Superman, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also he is new to this. Like everybody complained about, spoiler alert, him killing Zod. I was like, well, he's also been doing this for like 2 weeks. Get off him. And he also
Yeah.
killed Zod in the second Superman film too. So I don't know. I get very frustrated about that because everybody crapped on that film. I was like, and especially I think a lot of people, what is it called, like minimized it down to, well, he killed Zod, and that's not Superman. It's like Superman's killed a lot of people. Like
I mean, yeah.
the only
It's
thing that
kind of.
the only thing that really bothered me in that film was Russell Crowe coming back in the third act. I thought that was kind of hokey, but I don't know.
I don't know. My love for Henry Cavill really came in through Witcher, of course.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
Witcher series is phenomenal. I read the books
yeah.
and I've played the games and I've read the comics. Um,
So how do you
so
feel about him leaving?
I'm
And
very upset,
it's going to
clearly.
be the younger Hemsworth brother,
Liam
Liam,
Hemsworth?
Mister
Liam.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah,
I don't know. So I've read the interview on how Henry Cavill is uh how he kind of like sent him off being like, I think I will trust him to carry on Geralt's name and so on and so
yeah,
forth. But I think a lot of people, which funnily enough, I also watched another video essay about this quite literally today. A lot of people are complaining that it's mainly just we need to get rid of the writers and bring back Henry Cavill because Henry Cavill was really the guy who was
yeah.
fighting for the books and being like, we should stick with the books because the books are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're great. You can have some artistic,
License. Yeah.
movement here and there, but at the same time, like it's the way that they've taken Witcher in the direction that they've chosen, like a lot of things just does not make sense. Like
Okay.
there's supposed to, for an example, a quick one. You got me in a rabbit hole now. Look what you've done.
Go for it.
For an example, Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer. I almost forgot her name. I was about to lose it.
Oh, we can cut
They
that to where it's like, oh, and Yennefer, of course, of
Yes,
course.
Yennefer, of course. Yes, yes. Um, they're supposed to have like a weird, like broken like they're basically a family that was created, like they they they're supposed to have a family dynamic, but in the show, what they've done is basically seems like Yennefer is just so power hungry that she cannot view Ciri as a daughter, and that she's not
Huh.
it's just the tensions between Ciri and Yennefer cannot be motherly and cannot be mother and
Okay.
daughter. It's supposed to be like that though. It's supposed to, in the books it's supposed to be viewed as a family dynamic in a very goofy, interesting way.
Okay. Okay.
Like Geralt treats Ciri like a daughter, and Yennefer in turn treats Ciri like a daughter as well, because Yennefer and Geralt share a relationship that is also troubled, but there.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
in the
I
show, they
knew.
just ruined it.
I knew that he was a big fan of Witcher, to
Yes.
where it's almost sounded like he kind of helped get it going.
Yeah.
Like he was the catalyst to kind of really, like they wanted to make it, of course, but having somebody like him who is such a big fan, and also Liam Hemsworth's just not as good an actor as Henry Cavill
If it
is.
was, I think if it was the better Hemsworth, what is it, Chris? No,
Chris, yeah,
Chris Hemsworth. If he was the one who did Geralt, I felt like it would have been okay because I don't know. I mean, I don't know Liam Hemsworth like that. Obviously, he is a celebrity, and I am just a lowly little peasant. Um,
you know what? That doesn't mean anything. That
yeah.
means zero. There's
It's just,
there's
I
only
mean, I don't think they're gonna be listening, you know?
oh, I don't care. I will make fun of the miniature Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, I'll totally pick on him.
Chinley,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I believe that Chris Hemsworth would definitely have done an amazing, phenomenal job as Geralt because I think he's probably the better actor between the two, you know? Like if he
maybe.
was to do it, I would have been okay with that, you know?
He seems to be on a goofy kick right now.
He is,
Like he's
yeah.
been serious in films, but he seems to be on a hick, on a kick to just be like, I want to do stuff that's fun or fun. And he's a funny
And that's
dude.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah. I feel like
I
everyone
don't
needs to
know.
have a break in their day to day, you know? And
I tell you
that's,
what,
no matter who you are, you deserve that, you know?
I may have to turn in my nerd card for saying this. Can we have a break from Ryan Reynolds for like 3 years,
You know
please?
what? Take away my card too, because I also agree with that
Him,
statement.
yeah, him and
He's hot, but
who was the other one? Ryan Reynolds. As much as I love The
Tony Stark?
Rock,
Oh,
I could
The Rock.
I love him, but man, I could do with him not promoting a film
I
for
saw a
like six
funny
months.
movie, or not a movie, a funny meme of where
Yeah,
they were like four or five different pictures of the Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
yeah,
and he looked like he was all from the same movie, but in the captions it said, "This is all Dwayne The Rock Johnson in five separate different movies," and he
of
looked
course,
exactly the
of
same,
course. So he, oh, I remembered the other one,
like
but
costume wise.
you won't get any. I'm sure I won't get any arguments out of you. Chris Pratt can go away for like 5 years.
Oh yeah.
That would be good. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds is. It's like, dude, give me like 2 years where I don't have to deal with you, please,
Now, to be
please.
fair, he does a really good Deadpool, but
He does, but I think it's because he does all the advertising and stuff.
yeah.
Seems to keep popping up in my feed like every week. I'm like,
And I was like,
dude, I
there
don't
he
care about
is.
soccer. I don't care about soccer, man. You can go
Yeah.
away. And I know he's got a new film with great example, Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's been gone for like 3 years, and it makes me appreciate him when he's back. It's like, oh,
So
Will
yeah,
Ferrell's back. Cool.
I
I'll
had
go.
no clue he was back.
Yeah.
Huh.
He and Ryan Reynolds did some Christmas movie. It's on Apple TV Plus called Spirited. It's a
I don't
musical.
have that. A
Musical
musical.
with the two of them, which is
Interesting. Did you
yeah.
watch it?
No, no.
Are you gonna?
I'm trying to remember from the trailer. It looked like it was just a Christmas Carol all over again. I was like,
Oh, okay.
I've seen this film dozens of times.
I've
You're
seen
never
all the Christmas movies dozens of times by just watching a few.
you're never going to beat Scrooged when it comes to a Christmas story
Nope.
or Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know what you mean. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah. I'm thinking of the Christmas story because I can't remember if I said this earlier on, but I just came back from Cleveland and I stayed 3 doors down from the Christmas Story house.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. No, you
A-
didn't mention anything about
And the
Ohio.
day I got there, it was for sale. And there were news crews there all the time. I kept trying to get on the news to be like, I'm a wealthy Southern businessman looking to purchase the Christmas. I trade in moonshine, and I would like to buy this Christmas Story
Did you
house.
have the get up for it? Because come
Hell
on.
no, I was wearing shorts.
Ah.
Yeah, and I was like, when I was telling this to people, I was doing the fake
The
suspenders
overall, there's suspenders, yeah.
suspenders flick, and I was like, I wasn't even wearing suspenders, but it would have been funny to just go whoop, like that.
Yep. Oh my gosh, you would miss out on an amazing opportunity. Could have
But
gotten
yeah,
yourself a bolo tie and
yeah.
everything too.
Okay, uh, Christmas movies. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole for a second.
Okay.
Uh, one of my favorite one of the films I've seen the most in my life, is set around Christmas, and I catch a lot of crap for loving it.
So
And
Die Hard.
no, it's Serendipity with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale, and
Serendipity.
it was. I think it tanked because it came out I think like a week after 9/11 happened.
There it is.
And it is a New York centric film, and it's John Cusack, Jeremy Piven, Molly Shannon, Monahan. Eugene Levy. He's
John
hilarious
Corbett,
in it, of course.
Molly Shannon.
But it starts and ends kind of with Christmas. But I always watch it around Christmas time. But
it's kind of like the same way people say that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
So I like arguing with people who get mad about that. And the truth is, it's an action film set at Christmas time. That's what it is. But people were like, it's not a Christmas movie. I was like, oh, you have an opinion on this? I'm going to poke fun of you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Christmas film. Yeah, it's a Christmas film. What are you talking about? You're out
set
your
in
mind.
Christmas. Come on.
Yeah. And more recently, the two I've liked are The Night Of with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie, and I was going to say Falcon from the Marvel films because I couldn't recall his name, and Seth Rogen. It is a raunchy film, but it is a very good and heartfelt film.
Huh.
And Klaus, the animated film that came out.
Oh, Klaus.
That film is brilliant. That film is absolutely brilliant and didn't get enough credit when it came out.
I haven't seen it at all. Now that I'm thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy. I have a daughter, so I have to kind of keep myself in times with the animated stuff.
Oh,
I still have it.
Oh yeah, you know the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas specials. Is it this year or next year? I think it's this year.
Let me look that up too.
Yeah.
Guardians
holiday special. I think it's this year because I think I've already seen a trailer or a making of for it.
Or not Guardians of the Galaxy. What am I saying this? Gosh, I was way off. I was just thinking of comics still.
Oh.
Guardians of the. It's with Jack Frost, but he's animated.
Oh crap! I know what you're talking
animated.
about. Rise of the
Guardians.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Not Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Klaus, however you pronounce it. How old is she?
My daughter, she's 9.
Oh, shoot. I think she'll like it. I think it's a little slow for like a younger kid, like 4 or so. But I think a 9-year-old would actually like it a lot. It's very good.
Yeah, she wants to have like movie night, especially around Christmas time, which is fair. It's the best time for it.
Now, wait. Now I'm going to have to look up when Scrooge came out because my parents took me to the theater to see that.
Oh boy, I couldn't even.
1988. So I would have been 9 years old when that film came out.
1988. Good year. I was not born.
Yeah. Rub it in. So, but my parents, so I was 9 years old and my parents took me to the theater to see that. That tells you the difference of parents in the 80s.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm sure this is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll do.
Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so we're going to go back to, you're in Savannah and you're working at
way back.
Oh yeah, I do not forget. Well, what's funny is, have you heard of the Savannah Bananas?
I love the Savannah Bananas.
So my friends and I went and saw them during Labor Day weekend there. And I've got tickets to see them again in Nashville. See, that's a sports ball team you can get behind.
Yes.
They're awesome.
Oh, they're amazing. I follow them on TikTok and I saw them everywhere while I was in Savannah and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I found out, oh my gosh, they are a baseball team and they're amazing.
So I had not been to Savannah in like 13 or 14 years.
You're missing out.
Well, I was surprised at how bachelorette party it was. Like that was half the people that we saw were bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was going to ask about like how was the gaming world there, considering it seemed like
actually pretty good. Seeing how I used to work for one, it's actually really well there. They changed quite a bit in the sense of there's now what, one, two, three, four, I'm mentally thinking, four, five different gaming stores
Oh, wow.
in the Savannah
Okay.
area or Chatham County.
Okay.
Um, because they, the Army airfield is right there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So a lot of Army guys are surprisingly a lot nerdier than you think they are, you know?
Okay. Okay.
And so they actually really enjoy having card games. And so and plus the SCAD students, which are, the Savannah College of
Of
Art.
course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. So they are also going to be into comics and into
Okay.
uh, tabletops and things like that. So it's actually gained quite a bit in popularity. So it's really nice to have many
Okay.
different game stores over there.
Okay.
And
So,
they're good there.
so you're working there. What was it that made you choose to start painting miniatures?
So I remember that Sunday nights or Sundays in general would actually be miniature painting days, and I would be
Oh,
working those
okay.
Sundays sometimes. And I made really good friendships with the guys that would go over there and sit and paint. And they're usually like older gentlemen that just, they're tired of throughout the week and this is their time to get away from the house and away from their wives or, better halves.
Okay.
And they get to sit and paint and just be guys just being dudes kind of thing. And they kind of sit and joke around and they were all much older than me and they were all guys, but they took a liking to me and my very sassy self working there, and I loved watching them paint. And then I
Okay.
just decided one day, hey, can I come by on my day off and paint with them? And my boss was like, yeah, obviously. Why would I say no to that?
So had you kind of taken a break from doing art, or had you always kind of done it in the
So with
background?
you mean like traditional art?
Well, with anything, just for as a hobby or anything. Had
Yeah,
you?
I've taken a bit of a break on doing
Okay.
traditional art, especially like digital art and things like that. Because I am not as confident in that as I would
Okay.
like to be, and I don't feel as comfortable
Okay.
just with myself doing it. I don't know. I should
That's
get back
hey,
into it, but
oh, hey, that's every artist. You
hey,
just
I
described
know.
every artist.
I know, and it's awful. I'm so self-aware of how
Yeah.
bad we are, but at the same time, you just can't help those feelings, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you just got pushed past them. You can
Hmm.
do it.
Yeah.
That's
Hi.
that's
Well,
how strong of an encouraging person. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you can
you
do
can
it.
do it.
You can do it. Just trust me, you can do it.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
all of us, if I can get up every morning and do graphic design every day, you can do it. You
Yeah,
can,
it'll
yeah.
happen somehow.
But I meant in between, like before you start painting the miniatures, had you not done art for a little while when you got into that?
Um, I'll be honest, no, I don't think have done much of art
Okay.
since I started doing the miniatures.
Okay.
Um,
Oh
I
no, I
mean,
meant before. I meant before
oh,
that. Before
oh, before
leading
that?
up to that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant that.
No. No worries.
Yeah, I was actually still in a bit of a rut before that
Okay.
too. So I think this is what kind of caused me to be like, this is my outlet. This is what I
Yeah.
need. Um, let's see, when was the last time I actually picked up a pencil and like sat down and did a sketch? Probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
I just really haven't really sat down and done art what I
Okay.
used to do. And I
Okay.
kind of miss it, but at the same time, like I am just not as inspired as I'd like to be, you
Is
know?
is your little one into art at all?
Uh, she's more into more like like dancing. That's
Oh.
her art
Okay.
form. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she loves dancing. She does gymnastics. She does four different types of dances. It's quite funny actually to see her just be so into it.
That's
But she
awesome.
likes normal art too, but I
Okay.
think her true calling is dancing.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
encourage it as much as I can though, especially
It's
with her normal art.
anything nowadays that if a kid is not on a screen, that makes me very happy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Us too. Us too.
Okay. Okay. So you're painting miniatures. Is there anything you would like to see more of, like in gaming or tabletop stuff?
More
Like
women. I know that
more
sounds
women?
very cliche.
How that's trust me, that's what.
It's still a struggle
Yeah,
though. It's still a fight. You know, it's not as what it used to be by any means. Don't get me wrong. I'm very
yeah,
grateful for where we're standing in. But at the same time, like I just noticed that there's still not a lot of women in gaming. There's not a lot of women in nerdy spaces. And if they are, they're usually pretty traumatized by having negative male experiences. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And it's
Ex-
unfortunate.
except for Comic Cons, it seems like
Uh,
Dragon Con and stuff. It seems. I've got friends that go to Dragon Con every year. I know it's not 50-50 men women, but there
yeah.
seems to be quite a bit more women anymore, thankfully, than there used to be.
Yeah, and there's definitely more of an uptick, and it's great
Yeah,
because I mean I've seen it happen, you know. People
yeah,
we're getting more into like D&D and things like that because they're providing more of a space for us and they're providing more content. Not that it's like geared towards us, but it's not so like sexualized, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But like there's cute stuff
yeah.
out there, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Then you see,
nice.
then you see the cosplayers, and you're like, maybe a little
But
bit
I
too
mean, like,
sensitive.
if they chose that cosplay, it's
Yeah,
because they
that's
chose
true.
it, because that's what they would like to do, and that's understandable. And if they choose to cover up more, that's their own volition. And if they choose to do
Yeah,
canon, absolutely, then yeah, that's canon or less. You know,
yeah,
bikini cosplays are a thing, and that's their own volition too.
yeah, yeah. I know. I that's the older person of just like, good lord. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, um, is there anybody you would particularly like to work with?
If I
Like,
could if I could paint miniatures with Henry Cavill, I would lose my mind.
if you do that, can I come and interview him while you're painting miniatures?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I
yeah.
have dreams of that. I love
Okay.
that man. I love that man.
Oh my
Listen,
God,
if
that's
he's
gonna.
listening, I
So I'm
hope he
trying to.
finds me.
I'm trying to. I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna title this one, like getting nerdy with Natalie. But now it might just be like Henry Cavill Love Fest with Natalie. Is what
Yeah,
this was gonna
pretty
be called.
much.
I'll tag
It's
him. I'll tag him.
Oh
I'll make
gosh,
sure.
please. If he listen, that would complete my dream.
Oh
If
my
I can paint
God.
a miniature for him, or if I
Oh
can
my
paint a
God.
miniature with
Trade,
him,
trade,
or if we
trade.
can trade,
You,
oh my
you.
gosh.
He
I
paints
would
one and you paint one together, and then you trade at the end.
oh, I would I would cry at his feet.
So okay, so because I have a funny answer for this, I'm
All
setting
right.
myself up for a funny answer. Uh, is there any celebrities other than Henry Cavill that you would uh, completely nerd out on, or that you would lose your shit a little
Oh
bit?
my God, that's a lot. That's
Oh, okay,
still a
that's a
lot.
lot. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
hold on. Now that you put me on the spot and I'm only thinking about Henry Cavill, I've pretty much lost it. No, hold on. Hold on. She hold on. She's just as nerdy. Oh gosh, she's a musician. I forgot her name just now. Megan the Stallion. I know that sounds
Oh
funny.
yeah,
She
she's nerdy. I didn't know she was super
she's
nerdy.
really into anime.
Okay,
And I
okay.
would love, love, love to
I'm
be
just
around her and just talk about anime with her.
I'm just in love.
That's,
I'm just in love with her. I don't.
yeah, she's phenomenal. I love
Yeah.
her.
Okay.
I, am I, yeah, yeah, Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion.
She's into anime.
That's a good twofer. Yeah.
Yeah, Megan the
Okay.
Stallion and Henry Cavill. Whew, I
Okay.
would, I would melt into a puddle. I don't
Oh
think
my
I'd
God.
survive.
Well, so I am 6'7". I'm a
Uh-huh.
large man,
It's
and
very tall. Yeah.
very large man. And there are two celebrities that if I ever got to meet them, I've always said I would just walk up to them and say, "Hi, I'm going to hug you and I'm going to cry." And it's going to happen. And those two, one of them, I would bet you may not even know.
Okay.
Magic Johnson is one of them.
He's nerdy?
No, no, no. These are just celebrities.
Oh, okay.
No, the only two celebrities I would freak out at meeting are Magic Johnson and Kevin Smith. Both of them, I would have to hug them and cry.
Kevin
Because,
Smith,
yeah,
the
Silent Bob. Silent
Silent
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
That's fair. I understand.
Magic Johnson. Do you know who Magic Johnson is?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I don't know. You're 26. Magic Johnson has he's been retired since like 91.
Doesn't he still show up in some commercials? I think I've seen. No, never mind.
He's a businessman now.
Yeah, he's a businessman. Yeah.
He owns the Dodgers. He owns the LA. He owns all the LA sports teams, it seems. But yeah, he was my guy growing up, Magic Johnson. And I've always said that Magic Johnson would be like, bring it in, big man, because he's 2 inches. He's 2 inches taller than me. I said Kevin Smith would probably be like, security.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith. Well, it's the movies, but it's all the stuff he's done since then. Like just kind of living his own like weird artistic life is pretty amazing. And I respect the crap out of him for that. So, but any other celebrity, I don't care. I met Charles Barkley, who's another basketball player, and I suggested a cigar for him, and I did not flip out. So
nice.
I think those are the only two. I think Henry Cavill, I'd just be like, I would want to hang out and like, I don't want to say get a beer with him because I don't know that he is a big beer person, but I would just want to sit down and talk
get
like
a drink.
Yeah, like Sherlock Holmes or something. I don't know anything about The Witcher, and I don't know anything about Warhammer, but I could talk Sherlock Holmes. I could talk Superman, and I know he loves Superman. Yeah. So I'd be like, dude, let's figure out how to make For All Seasons into a movie, dude. Let's make this happen.
And now I was still thinking about the whole other celebrities that I'd want to like talk with.
Go for it. See, that's all I did was I gave you time.
Yeah, he gave me time to like finally like calm down from the Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Post Malone. I'm not into his music, but I know he's a big Magic the Gathering fan.
Oh.
And I would love to play Magic the Gathering with him.
So I just know that because one of my friends is obsessed with him. I just know he's like a really sweet dude.
Yeah,
like he's just like a really
down
nice.
to earth.
And there was, do you know the country music star Randy Travis? He's like 80s and 90s. He's in like really bad health, and there was a video posted where Randy Travis went to a Post Malone show, and like he's in a wheelchair. He's not doing good, and he was just over the moon that Randy Travis came to his show.
Oh my God.
And he like they played beer pong together. And it cracked him up. Like he just seems like the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
And my friend who's obsessed with him is like, oh yeah, he is the nicest. And I've seen a lot of videos like him interacting with fans after shows. And he just seems like the nice. Yeah, I know one song of his, that Sunflower. I think that's
yeah.
And I only know it from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I could not tell you another song of his. But he seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a really down-to-earth celebrity. And speaking of other random celebrities, did you know that Vin Diesel's really into Dungeons and Dragons?
I did.
Yeah.
So you know the big one there is Joe Manganiello. Do you know Joe Manganiello?
No.
He was in the Magic Mike films. He played. He was in. Oh shoot! What was the vampire show that was on HBO?
Vampire Diaries.
No.
No, I was gonna say Buffy.
Anyway, he was in the Batman v Superman. True Blood. That was it. So he is like a ginormous dude that's ripped, married to Sofia Vergara, and he built a D&D hall or lounge in their house. And I think he's done like YouTube series and stuff talking about it. Like he is a ginormous D&D person. Like I think if you look it up, I think he was on, here's one for you. I think he was on the Colbert Show talking about D&D.
I believe it.
Yeah, so you might like him. He's also a big buff dude.
I believe it. I'd have to look into that too.
Yeah. Okay.
I love D&D.
D&D, so I played it twice when I was in high school with dudes who took it very seriously. And they just trash talked. And I was like, you do realize I can hang you by your ankles off the roof of this place, right? Like, stop pulling, like literally had their own broadswords that they were pulling out. I was like, I will kick your ass. What are you talking about? I was like, make this enjoyable. Now as an adult, I'm like, make this enjoyable. Stop being a dickhead about it. Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, they were awful. And God bless their hearts, but They really did not get me into it. So how do you feel about like Stranger Things?
Stranger Things is actually something I'm very appreciative of.
Okay.
Because of the fact that it really brings Dungeons and Dragons back in the light, and it's actually brought in a large uptick of people being like, "Hey, I want to play this.
Yeah.
That's a real thing."
Okay.
And it's amazing because you're now getting like new generations of people getting into Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just building the community. So I'm really happy it's Stranger Things. They actually made like a whole starter set specifically around Stranger Things. And
That's cool.
It is really cool. I haven't played it personally, but it comes with like their own Demogorgon little figurine. And it's kind of written as if like the kids themselves were like writing in the notebook and stuff. It's actually really cute.
There's probably a lot of hardcore people that think that's lame, but I also think that's a way for people to get into it, and that's a way to get people into it.
You'd be surprised. A lot of the nerds in a lot of those fellow nerds who are more hardcore into the scene, a lot of them are pretty happy that there's just more people, because a big issue that most D&D players have is just not having enough people to play a game, or not having, a good schedule set up to be able to play a game.
Well, and not to bring up the generational thing again, but it's also the generational thing of, it feels like the younger generations are not as big on gatekeeping stuff.
They're not, no, and it's really nice. I mean, they are in some aspects, but not.
Girls can't. They got cooties. They can't.
Yeah. But no, it's great to actually be able to not have to worry about someone being like, "Oh, you don't know D&D like I do. You are not playing it right." Like, don't get me wrong. There's still those type of people, but it's not like what it used to be. From what I've heard, from older generations explaining how the games used to be and stuff like that. Yeah.
So when it comes to any of this stuff, do you set goals or a checklist? Do you know what you'd like to do in the next 10 years when it comes to any of this stuff?
To the nerdy stuff?
Yeah. Like painting miniature. Do you want from painting miniatures to go to something else? Or
I would love to open up my own personal business, being able to paint miniatures. I mean, for one, it's soothing for me, and two, I just love seeing the process go from start to finish, and being able to see someone look at their miniature and be like, "This is exactly what I wanted. This is awesome." It's very rewarding, and I would love to have that as an actual business, to be able to provide this service for more people, and I'm actually getting paid for it, so I'm not dying and crippling under the amount of paint that I have to pay for.
So is 3D printing a thing in this world?
It is actually, it's a really big thing in this world.
That's what I would think.
And it's, some people really like it, others don't. The more of the corporate tea people do not like it because they're now losing a little bit of the revenue. But for normal people, we're pretty happy to have it.
Because
painting wise, they're a little difficult to work with. But
I can see that.
But
also, like, the gateway into 3D printing now keeps getting lower and lower and lower, and you can do so much with it, even if it's just augmenting pieces that you buy. I can see that being cool.
And it's pretty great. Some people have just done 3D prints of just little staffs or just general little pieces just to add on to their miniatures, just to give them more personality, something closer to them than just the generic, "This is a wizard elf bard," Why did I say wizard elf bard? Like a wizard elf versus a tiefling bard,
These are all foreign languages to me. So.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So is there a thing called, I think it's called Hero Forge?
Hero Forge, yes.
So a friend of mine did like his own character on Hero Forge. And I was like, hell, I'm going to do this. So I created an account and made my own character of like some big battle axe wielding, big bearded dude. And I was like, and they keep emailing me like, "You can do so much more with this." I was like, "Oh, I've already done what I wanted to do," and taking a screenshot of it to make a funny profile picture. That's all I wanted to
Yeah.
do. Like, it was a lot of fun, though, sitting there for like 45 minutes just playing with it. But
You would probably really enjoy The Sims if that's the
okay. Okay.
case. The Sims. But that's a video
Oh,
game. That's a
yeah.
whole other ball game
I,
I'm talking about.
I played The Sims at one point, and I think I made it like 2 or 3 hours into it. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm
Well,
good.
not the customer, the character creation in the new Sims, like Sims
Yeah.
4, is like wildly different now.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
If you like sitting there and making something just to look like something, I highly recommend it.
I would rather create art or consume stuff. Like right now, I'm in the middle of watching The Offer, the TV series that is based on the making of The Godfather, and I'm so obsessed with The Godfather. I'm like, I already know like half of this stuff.
It's funny, I've never seen The Godfather,
It's
but my dad has all of like the things for it.
the
The
box
se-
sets and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get him something kind of nerdy, there is a pop they just released with Don Corleone and the cat, and he's
Oh,
like stroking the
cute.
cat. I may have ordered that and have that. So,
Well,
yeah.
actually, I already got my dad like William Shatner's signature, so I
Oh,
think I'm good.
oh, you are good. Good
Yeah,
Lord, that's amazing.
thank
Okay.
you. I actually heard William Shatner sing too, and it was god awful.
Oh
And
yeah.
I
Here, I'll give you another name you may not know. Do you know Henry Rollins?
no.
So Henry Rollins was in a band called Black Flag, this punk band, but he
Uh-huh.
does these spoken word shows now, and he just tells these weird stories about his life. Well, he was on one of the William Shatner albums, and he tells the story.
Interesting.
You can probably find it on YouTube, and it's hilarious because the musician Ben Folds lived in Nashville and produced one of William Shatner's albums. And all of a sudden, Ben Folds called Henry Rollins. Was like, "Do you want to be on a William Shatner album?" He was like, "Yes." When? Yes. Uh,
Yes.
do I need to pay my way? Yes. Like, just like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And he tells this big long story about them recording, then going out for dinner together, and it's
Oh
hilarious.
wow.
It's hilarious. William Shatner. Good Lord. Okay. Uh, is there anywhere you would like to see your work published? Like, are there any magazines or trades or anything for uh,
For gaming,
table gaming or the tabletop stuff?
I mean, it's more of like a social media aspect
Okay.
nowadays. I mean, you can technically there's a specific gaming magazine. Gosh, I think it's called GTM. I think that's literally all
Okay.
that's called. Let me triple check myself here. Um magazine. They yeah, Game Trade magazine. They that would probably be the only place that I'd like to be able to see my art be showcased, but
Okay.
they wouldn't really do that. So
Okay.
it's more, yeah, it's more like I would
Okay.
just love to have like a social following or
Oh,
something, but I'd have to
okay.
set myself up for that first. And, Fiverr exists and I can definitely do something there, but it's, you know,
Now
it's a
this is
challenge because there's many other painters out there who do the same thing as I do, but
this is me. So I do graphic design, but I also do digital marketing.
oh, okay.
This is me fussing at you. Just do it.
Oh,
Don't do
okay.
don't do Fiverr. Do Etsy or Shopify or something like that. Don't do Fiverr. Don't undervalue yourself. I got faith in you.
Oh, okay.
I'm the
There we go.
one.
This is a more intense. You can do it.
I'm giving you the pep talk. Let's do this. This is
Ah,
what sports ball is all about.
this is this is sports ball.
I want a sports ball Warhammer painted thing. Like he's throwing a
Did you
pass.
know? Actually, there is a sports ball Warhammer
Is there
game. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Warhammer what's it called? Guild Ball? No. Hold on. I know Guild Ball exists. That's also something else. It's literally football, but it's Warhammer.
Okay.
Gosh, what is it called? Hold
I'm
on, give
I'm
me 2 seconds.
googling and it comes
Blood
up
Bowl.
Warhammer American Football Blood
Blood
Bowl.
Bowl.
I see the videos. Holy crap. Okay, I got to watch this.
Yeah.
Okay, I will
It's
totally watch this.
It is literally football, but make it miniatures that you get to control.
Oh my God. Okay. I won't.
I may suddenly have gotten you into it. I don't
Yeah.
know. If you need some minis painted, let me know.
Um. Okay. So, if there's anything you could tell a kid who was wanting to get into this, what would you tell them?
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of patience, but it definitely is rewarding in the end.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just seeing the finished product, it just fills you with just like a big, I did it, you know?
Okay. All right.
It's
Well,
like
I think.
it's like miniature trophies, you know? Like you see it when it's in its bare bones and you get to mold it and paint it and build
Yeah.
its character and you're creating life in a little miniature. It's like suddenly I'm building a little Toy Story little
Okay.
figurine that eventually will come to life if I don't look at it long enough, you know?
Okay.
That's what it kind of feels like to me.
Don't creep them out now. Come on.
Okay, well, yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
Come play with us, Danny. Come play with us. All
The
right.
little
Well,
miniatures.
thank you so much for being on.
Of course. Thank you. I really appreciate this time that we had together.